what's up, and welcome back to the channel JK World 035, and we are back with the series of book reading Atomic Habit. So today's episode is 27, and the topic is the downside of creating good habits. So let's read, listen carefully. Habit creates the foundation for a mystery in chess. It is only after the basic movements of the pieces have become automatic that a player can focus on the next level of the game. Each chunk of information that is memorized opens up the mental space for more effortful thinking. This is true for any endeavor when you know the simple movements so well that you can perform them without thinking. You are free to pay attention to more advanced details. In this way, habits are the backbone of any pursuit of excellence. However, the benefits of habits come at a cost. At first, each repetition develops fluency, speed, and skill. But then, as a habit becomes automatic, you become less sensitive to feedback. You fall into mindless repetition. It becomes easier to let mistakes slide when you can do it's good enough on autopilot. You stop thinking about how to do it better. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. The downside of habits is that you get used to doing things a certain way and stop paying attention to little errors. You assume you are getting better because you are gaining experience. In reality, you are merely reinforcing your current habits, not improving them. In fact, some research has shown that once a skill has been mastered, there is usually a slight decline in performance over time. Usually, this minor dip in performance is no cue for worry. You don't need a system to continuously improve how well you brush your teeth, or tie your shoes, or make your morning cup of tea. With habits like these, good enough is usually good enough. The less energy you spend on trivial choices, the more you can spend it on what really matters. However, when you want to maximize your potential and achieve elite levels of performance, you need a more nuanced approach. You can repeat the same thing blindly and expect to become exceptional. Habits are necessary but not sufficient for mastery. What you need is a combination of automatic habit and deliberate practice. So habit plus deliberate practice equal to mastery. To become great, certain skills do need to become automatic. Basketball players need to be able to dribble without thinking before they can move on to the mastering layups with their non-mundane hands. Sargons need to repeat the first initiation so many times that they could do it with their eyes closed, so that they can focus on the hundreds of variables that arises during surgery. But after one habit has been mastered, you have to return to the effortful part of the work and begin building the next habit. Mastery is the process of narrowing your focus to a tiny element of success. So, thinning elements of success, repeating it until you have internalized the skill, and then as using this new habit as the foundation to advance to the next uh, fought there of your development. Old tasks become easier the second time around, but it doesn't get easier overall because now you are pouring your energy into the next challenge. Each habit unlocks the next level of performance. It's endless cycle. Although habits are powerful, what you need is a way to remain conscious of your performance over time so you can continue to refine and improve. It's precisely to at the moment when you begin to feel like you have mastered a skill, right when things are starting to feel automatic and you are becoming comfortable, that you must avoid slipping into the trap of complacency. The solution: establish a system for reflection and review. How to review your habit and make adjustments. In 1986, the Los Angeles Lakers had one of the most talented basketball team ever assembled, but they are rarely remembered that way. The team started the 1985 to 1986 NBA season with an astounding 29 to 50 records. The pundits were saying that we might be the best team in the history of basketball. Head coach Pat Riley said after the seasons, surprisingly, the Lakers stumbled in the 1986 playoffs and suffered a season-ending defeat in the Western Conference Finals. The best team in the history of basketball that didn't even play for the NBA championship. After the blow, Riley was proud of hearing about how much talent his players had, about how much promise his team held. He didn't want to see flashes of brilliance followed by a gradual fade in performance. He wanted to Lakers to play up to their potential night after night. In the summer of 1986, he created a plan to do exactly that, a system that he called the Career Based Effort Program, or CBE. When players first joined the Lakers, Rely explained, we tracked their basketball statistics all the way back to high school. I call this taking their number. We look for an accurate gauge of what a player can do, then build them into our plan for the team based on the notion that he will maintain and then improve upon his average. After determining a player's baseline level of performance, Rely added a key step. He asked each player to improve their output by at least 1% over the course of the season. If they succeed, it would be a CBE, or career based effort, similar to the British cycling team that we discussed in chapter 1. And Lakers sought peak performance by the getting slightly better each day. Rely was careful to point out that CBE was not merely about points or statistics, but about giving your best effort spiritually and mentally and physically. Players got credit for allowing an opponent to run into you when you know that a foul will be called against him, diving for loose balls, giving after rebounds, whether you are likely to get them or not, helping a teammate when the player he's grinding has surged. past past him, and other unsung hero deaths. As an example, let's say that Magic Johnson, the Lakers star player at the time, had 11 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, and 5 turns over in a game. Magic also got credit for a unsung hero dead by driving after a loose ball plus 1. Finally, he played a total of 33 minutes in this imaginary game. The positive number 11 plus 8 plus 12 plus 2 plus 1 added up to 34. Then we subtract the 5 turnovers, 34 to 5, to get 29. Finally, he divided 29 by 33 minutes played. Example, 29 by 30, 29 by 33 equal to 0.879. Magic CBE number here would be 879. This number was calculated for all of players games, and it was the average CBE that players was asked to improve by 1% over the season. Rely compared each player's current CBE to not only their past performance but also those of the other players in the league. As Relay put it, we rank team members alongside league opponents who play the same position and have similar low definitions. Sport writer Jackie McMullen noted Relay trumpeted the top performers in the league in bold lettering on the backboard each week and measure them against the corresponding players on his own rosters. Solid, reliable players generally rated a score in the 600s, while elite players scored at the least 800. Magic Johnson, who submitted 138 triple double in his career, often scored of 1000. The Lakers also emphasized year-over-year progress by making historical comparison of CBE data. Relay said, "We stacked the month of November 1986 next to November 1985 and showed the player whether they were doing better or worse than at that same point at least last season. Then he showed them how their performance figure for December 1986 stacked up against November's. The Lakers rolled out CB is in October 1986. 8 months later, they were NBA champions. The following years, Pat Riley led his team to another little as the Lakers become the first team in 20 years to win the back-to-back NBA championship. Afterward, he said, "Sustaining an effort is the most important thing for any enterprise. The way to be successful is to learn how to do things right, then do them the same way every time." The CBE program is a prime example of the power of reflection and review. The Lakers were already talented. CBE helped them get the most out of what they had and made sure their habits improved rather than declined. Reflection and review enable the long-term improvement of all habits because it makes you aware of your mistakes and helps you consider possible paths of improvement. Without reflection, we can make excuses, create realization, and lie to ourselves. We have no process for determining whether we are performing better or worse compared to yesterday. So, top performers in all fields engage in various types of reflection and review, and the process doesn't have to be complex. Kian Runner Eliud Kipchoge he is one of the greatest marathoners of all time and Olympic gold medalist. He still takes notes after every practice, in which he reviews his training for the day and search for areas that can be improved. Similarly, gold medal swimmer Kade Ledke records her wellness on scale of 1 to 10 and include notes on her nutrition and how well she slept. She also records the times posted by other swimmers. At the end of each week, her coach goes over her notes and adds his thoughts. It's not just an athlete either. When comedian Cries Cries Rock is preparing fresh material, he will first appear at the small nightclubs dozens of times and test hundreds of jokes. He bring a notepad on stage and record which bit goes over well, and where he needs to make adjustment. The few killer lines that survive will form the backbone of his new show. I know of executive and investor who keep a decision journal in which they record the major decisions they make each week, they why they made them, and what they expect the outcome to be. The review their choice at the end of each month of year to see where they were correct and where they went wrong. Improvement is not just about learning habits, it's also about fine tuning them. Reflection and review ensure that you spend your time on the right thing and make course correction whenever necessary, like path relay adjustment. The efforts of his player on a nightly basis. You don't want to keep practicing a habit if it become ineffective. Personally, I employ two primary modes of reflection and review. Each December, I perform an annual review in which I reflect on the previous year. I tally my habit for the year by continuing up how many article I published, how many workouts I put, how many new places I visited, and more. Then I reflect on my progress or lack of thereof by answering three questions. Number one, what went well this year? Number two, what didn't go so well this year? Number three, what did I learn? 6 months later, when summer rolls around, I conduct an integrity report. Like everyone, I make a lots of mistakes. My integrity report helps me realize where I went wrong and motivate me to go get back on the course. I use it as a time to revisit my core value and consider whether I have been living in accordance with them. This is when I reflect on my identity and how I can work toward being the type of person I wish to become. My yearly integrity report answers three questions. Number one, what are the core values that drive my life and work? Number three, how I am living and working with integrity right now? Number three, how can I set a higher standard in the future? These two reports don't take very long, just a few hours per year, but but they are critical periods of reniment. They prevent the gradual slide that happens when I don't pay close attention. The provide an annual reminder to revisit my annual reminder to revisit my desired identity and consider how my habits are helping me become the type of person I wish to be. The indicate when I should upgrade my habit and take on new challenges, and when I should dial my effort back and focus on the fundamentals. Reflection can also bring a sense of perspective. Daily habits are powerful because of how they compound, but worrying too much about every daily choice is like looking at yourself in the mirror from each an inch away. You can see every imperfection and lose sight of bigger picture. There is too much feedback. Conversely, never reviewing your habit is like never looking in the mirror. You aren't aware of easily flexible flows, a spot on your shirt, a bit of food is your tint. There is too little feedback. Periodic reflection and review is like a viewing yourself in the mirror from a conventional distance. You can see the important change you should make without losing sight of bigger picture. You want to view the entire mouth range, not obvious or each peak and valley. Finally, reflection and review offer an ideal time to revisit one of the most important aspects of behavior change: identity. So, how to break the beliefs that hold you back? In the beginning, repeating a habit is essential to build up evidence of your desired identity. As you latch on to that new identity, however, those same beliefs can hold you back from the next level of growth. When walking against your identity create a kind of pride that encourages you to deny your weak spot and prevent you from truly growing. This is one of the greatest downside of the building habit. The more scared an idea is to us, that is the more deeply is it tied to our identity, the more strongly we will defend it against criticism. You see this in every industry. The school teacher who ignores innovative teaching methods and stick with her tried and true lessons plans, the vendor manager who is committed to doing things this way his way, the surgeon who dismisses the ideas of her younger colleagues, the band who produce a mind-blowing first album and then gets stuck in the rut. The tiger we cling to an identity, the harder it become to grow beyond it. One solution is to avoid making any single aspect of your identity an overwhelming portion of who you are. In the words of investors Paul Graham, keeps your identity small. The more you let a single belief define you, the less capable you are of adapting when life challenges you. If you are tie everything up in the point, God or the partner at the frame or whatever else, then the laws of the pheasant of your life will break you. If you are a vegan, and then develop a healthy condition that force you to change your diet, you will have two identity crises on your hands. When you cling too tightly to one identity, you become bridle lose that one thing and you lose yourself. For most of my young life, being an athlete was a major part of my identity. After my baseball career ended, I struggled to find myself. When you spend your whole life defining yourself in one way and that disappear, who are you now? Military veterans and farmers, Entrepreneurs report similar feeling. If your identity is wrapped up in a belief like I am great soldier, what happens when your period of service ends? For many business owners, their identity is something along the lines of I am the CEO or I am the founder. If you have spent every walking moment working on your business, how will you feel after you sell the company? The key to mitigating these losses of identity is to redefine yourself such that you get to keep important aspect of your identity even if your particular role changes. I am an athlete become I am the type of person who is mentally tough and loves a physically challenge. I am a great soldier transforming into I am the type of person who is disciplined, reliable, and great on a team. I am the CEO translate to I am the type of person who build and create things. When choose effectively, an identity can be flexible rather than brittle like water flowing around an optical. Your identity walk with the challenges circumstances rather than against them. The following quote for the Tao Te Chang encapsulate the ideas perfectly. So, men are born soft and supple. Dead they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a discipline of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a discipline of life. The hard and stiff will be broken, the soft and supply will prevail. So, habits deliver numerous benefits, but the downside is that they can lock us into our previous patterns of thinking and acting even when the world is shifting around us. Everything is impermanent. Life is constantly changing, so you need to periodically check in to see if your old habits and beliefs are still surviving you. A lack of self awareness is poison. Poison reflection and review is the antidote. So this is a chapter I really like that. The downside of the downside of creating good habits. So let's read chapter summary. The upside of habits is that we can do things without thinking. Downside is that we stop paying attention to little errors. Habit plus deliberate practice equal to master. Reflection and review is a process that allows you to remind consequence of your performance over time. The tighter we cling to an identity, the harder it becomes to grow beyond it. So this is a chapter I really like so much. So if you understand, please apply in your life, and hopefully you understand. So I end up this episode with this. So thank you so much for watching this video, and please give a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel JK World 035, and we will meet in again of episode. So bye bye guys, take care.